Hello, brilliant entrepreneur. It's Tash Corbin here, and welcome to another episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. This is episode number 212, which means all the relevant links and show notes can be found at tashcorbin.com/212. In today's episode, I'm talking about how being creative in business doesn't mean throwing away structure and planning and routines. Now, before you get that glazed eyes look, I want to show you in this episode how systems, structures, and routines are actually the key to more creativity and freedom in your business. And if you are someone who craves creativity and freedom, I want you to stick with me and listen along because this is such an important episode for you. Let's jump in. I'm Tash Corbin, and this is the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. I see so much resistance in the online business world to the systemized, structured parts of being in business. So many people don't want to niche because they want to work with a range of different people and have this creative freedom and this difference in their business. They want their business to be interesting. So niching is going to take away that interest if they really focus down. So it creates this niche resistance. I see people resisting structure to their day because they want to go with their intuition, follow their gut, go with what creativity kind of unfolds, be really flexible. People often resist systems in their business because they want to do everything bespoke. They want to be really giving to their customers. They want to treat everyone as individuals. They resist having a routine to their week or doing planning in their business because they want to have that freedom of seeing how everything unfolds. But I want to pose this little question to you. I want to plant this little seed today. What if a lack of structure is actually stifling the freedom and creativity in your business? So let me explain this one. Imagine you're sitting down to work on something in your business that requires you to be creative and intuitive and flexible, and you've got a couple of hours free in which you can work on this, right? So maybe you're doing some course creation, or you're mapping out content ideas, or you're doing some graphic design or some artwork, or you're doing something that requires you to be really creative, really flexible, really expressive, really tapped into your intuition and going with the flow. You've only got a couple of hours to get it done. Imagine the difference between you spending that couple of hours really loving it, free of any burdens, and just totally there in the moment, or that couple of hours with you with a to-do list of 30 things rolling around in your head, feeling guilty that you haven't done your newsletter this week, and you're pretty sure you haven't followed up on that invoice that was supposed to be paid, and you're not 100% sure what your day looks like after this couple of hours, and you're carrying around a bunch of things in your brain. So many people live like this every single day in their business. Their entire existence is a stress bed of to-do lists and reminders and worries and concerns all rolling around in their head. How creative can you really be with all of that burden on your shoulders? How creative can you really be if you don't have the freedom of knowing this 2 hours is actually a free 2 hours to get creative and really work on it? For so many people, they don't actually ever get to experience true creative, intuitive freedom in their business because their business feels like a giant unending list of things that they need to get done. And because they haven't got that structure and systems and processes and plans in place, it's sitting on their shoulders, rolling around in their brains 24/7. So my approach is to say, what if we got the boring, repeated, need to do stuff in your business as structured and systemized and automated as possible? What if we got all of that, like trying to keep your to-do list in your head out of your brain and into a system where you know it's going to get taken care of. It's totally sorted. Everything's running like clockwork. It's totally fine. Imagine how much freedom, creativity, and intuition you would experience if that was the way that you're working every single day in your business. So I wanted to do this episode because I've seen a lot of structure, systems, niche resistance lately. And I think it's something that we all experience as entrepreneurs from time to time, except maybe the systems people who totally love it. At the Heart Center Business Conference in June, that was a big theme of the conference. So many people, the big light bulb they had was, oh my gosh, I should totally be systemizing all of this stuff in my business. Oh my gosh, why have I not automated that sooner? Oh my gosh, why don't I have a team member yet? Why am I still doing all of these low return activities in my business? That's actually what's stopping me from achieving the income growth I've been aiming for, but haven't been able to achieve. And I feel like I'm running around in circles all the time. So I thought I would do this podcast episode to just start planting that seed for you. If there's a way you can systemize, put structure to something, automate something in your business, think of it as unburdening you as the business owner. Think of it as unleashing your freedom, your flexibility, your creativity, and your intuition, because it's no longer something that you're trying to carry around in your brain. Remember to do later. Remember that you've got to get that thing sorted. Or even just that feeling of guilt. I shouldn't be playing with this project right now. I haven't even sent out my invoices this week. I shouldn't be playing this project right now. I haven't done any follow-up. I shouldn't be playing with this creative project or artwork right now. I don't know where my next sale's coming from, right? So I really wanted to plant this seed in this episode because I know how powerful that shift and transition can be for people. Now, one of the most consistent areas where I see the uh-oh on people's faces when we start talking about systemizing and things working on autopilot is list growth. Once you are at the point of knowing what your products and services are, knowing how to sell them, and knowing who your audience is, it's time to start really dedicating a bit of time each week to systemizing and setting up your list growth so that it's working on autopilot, because your list is one of your most important assets in your business. And it's the kind of thing where the shorter period of time you have to grow it, the more expensive that growth becomes. So it's that compound interest kind of effect. If you start growing your list on autopilot from the very early stages of your business, it is going to reap beautiful rewards for you consistently and over again throughout your business journey. And it's definitely something I waited far too long in my business journey to get sorted. So if you would like to get your list growth sorted and have that list growth starting to happen on autopilot, I have a great resource for you, and it's totally free. Head on over to the show notes at tashcorbin.com/212. And at the bottom of the show notes, I will have the link there for you to grab my free autopilot list growth freebie. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Heart Centered Business Podcast. I hope that you have made a little reminder for yourself in your brain to start looking at creating structure to unleash the creativity and intuition in your business. If this episode has been helpful for you, please come over to the Heart Centered Soul Driven Entrepreneurs Facebook group. Use the hashtag #PodcastAha. And let me know you've been listening to episode number 212. And I would love to know, what is it that you want to start doing a little bit more consistently or in a more structured way? And any questions that you might have about this episode as well. Thank you once again for joining me for this episode. Until next time, I cannot wait to see you shine. Bye for now. Would you like more tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your heart-centered business? Head to tashcorbin.com today.